another one, a totally different subject.
No, I
Yeah.
like that subject.
I like that subject too. We're going to come back to it. Ready?
I don't know.
I'm going to throw this at you.
Okay.
You ready? Hi everybody, we're the Tattoo Teachers. And today we're going to talk about school clothes. It's summertime. I know everybody, oh, she perked up then. Summertime, and then you're going to be purchasing school clothes for your kids soon. And what a nightmarish ordeal that's going to become. But we've got some tips. Stay tuned. As an administrator, it's a lot of times fell to me throughout the school year to talk to parents or talk to students, particularly when shoes were missing, PE shoes, jackets, sweaters. If you've seen one of our previous videos, we've talked about that endless, bottomless box of school clothes that kids leave at the end of the school year. And we know that you're about to start that process.
If you're about to start your process of school shopping, the very first thing you need to do is make sure you know the school dress code.
Yep.
It can.
If it's uniforms, it's easy.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Well, I never worked in a school with uniforms, but I imagine that would be the best way to shop for school clothes. And it really depends on your school and what their school code is as to the things that you can buy. So if you want to forego a lot of headaches throughout the school year, get that school code list and make sure, school dress code list, and make sure that you don't buy anything that is against the school dress code.
Right.
It'll just save a headache for you and everybody else involved if you just go by that dress code.
If you're new to the community, new to this school, call the school, ask them if you can get a copy of the dress code. They probably already have the handbook printed. If they did like we did, we had ours online, and you can go online and see if they've updated. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to call the school and say, hey, have you guys updated your dress code?
And that is another thing. It needs to be updated. Administrators, every summer, school trends change. I love clothes. You know, that's a weakness of mine. And it was a weakness of mine when I bought school clothes for my daughter. I mean, we're still paying the credit card bills off. So, I mean, it is a weakness. It tends to be, especially for female. I don't know. I didn't have a son, so I can't talk about that. But it is disheartening when you buy the cutest trendy thing, and that cutest trendy thing can't be worn to school.
No.
So administrators, number one, update your dress codes and think about why you have those rules. I mean, the dress code rules are in place for some reason, but think about those reasons and if they still apply to the fashions of the day.
And let me add one more item to that. That's great advice. Administrators, when you're reviewing your dress code, seek some input.
Exactly.
Men
don't know.
Have someone on your staff sit in with you. Have if you have a parent committee, a parent advisory committee, or something that where you can. I'm not saying you need to get a whole lot of people involved, because sometimes that just makes things even more chaotic.
Yes.
But try to get some differing views in to bounce your ideas off of why you think maybe a particular dress code item is a problem, and seek their advice, because in the end, the teachers and the parents are on the front lines. They're the ones that are going to be dealing with this first before you ever do.
That's right.
So get their input. Is this really a troublesome item? Whatever it is, if it's the rips in the jeans, how far up can the rips go before it becomes a problem? I remember an administrator one time, didn't want kids wearing flip-flops or sandals to school.
And behind that was that you could trip on the stairs and fall and then sue the school, and I understand that, but in all of my 33 years, I don't think I ever had a kid trip because they were wearing flip-flops or known of that to happen. So just rethink your rules and why they're in place, and is it really something that needs to be part of your school dress code.
Right. Administrators, try not to let your personal likes
Good
and dislikes get in the way of the dress code, because please remember, you're representing your entire community, and your entire community may not think the way you do. Matter of fact, I can pretty much guarantee they all don't think the way you do. So we need to keep cultural and social norms in mind when we be able to create these outlines. And let's be sure, before we outlaw something, is it worth the hassle? Do we have a legitimate reason? Is it related to school safety? Is it related to maintaining a learning environment within your school? You need to have something to back yourself up for that challenge that is going to come.
That's right, and it will. But parents, if you want to avoid that challenge, just go ahead and get a copy of the school dress code, and that's what you use to buy your child's new school clothes for the school year.
And as soon as you buy those new clothes, while you're at the store, run by one of the local office supply places and pick you up a large Sharpie, a permanent marker, and please, somewhere inside that garment, put your child's name.
Even if they're in high school and they say you're treating me like a kindergartner, even then, write their name in their clothes.
Please,
somewhere.
Put some initials, anything in there where they can be identified for when those things are lost or misplaced, or if it's a popular clothing trend, other kids may be wearing the same thing and they get confused. What we dealt with a lot were football jackets. We had 100 kids all wearing football jackets that looked the same. The only thing difference might have been a little bit of the size, but if you've got 40 7th graders that are all wearing mediums, if they don't have their number on them, then we've got a problem. So please put those initials in there under the tag, somewhere inside where it's out of sight, that garment can be identified. I promise it's going to save you so much trouble later. You'll really be glad you did that.
And I know these things that we talk to you about are so simple sounding, but we wouldn't be talking to you about them if it wasn't a problem within a school, at least one school or two or three that we were at. So
we wouldn't be thinking about it if we hadn't had to deal with it. And if we're having to deal with it, the odds are you're having to deal with administrators across this great country and probably in other countries are having to deal with it at the same time. Contact your school. Find out what that dress code is. And
administrators update the dress code based on the school, the trends within the fashion community.
And please try to be culturally, and please try to be reasonable.
Right.
And seek input. And parents, please try to be understanding with administrators when they call about dress code issues.
Most of the times, a dress code rule is made for some reason.
Yep.
Okay. And just for an example, I remember at one school I was a teacher at, or a school counselor, I can't remember which. There was a rule about uniform, about jogging suits. It was a big thing about warm-ups, and there was a certain kind of warm-up you couldn't wear, and I never understood that, and I thought, why? And then one time I saw a boy wear this skin-tight warm-up jogging suit, and I realized why that rule was made.
Hey, player.
Because, it wasn't the girls. I always assumed it was because of the girls, but it was not because of the girls. It was a different reason, and there are reasons for these rules, but the rules may be outdated based on that trend. So you just really need to, administrators, look over that yearly. You need to look over your dress code.
But on the flip side of that, Mom, please try not to take offense as best you can when the principal or assistant
principal. He's trying to talk to me, but he's doing it towards you. But go ahead.
When the principal or assistant principal calls to talk about shorts or skirts being too short or straps on tanks being too thin, guys, particularly in junior high, the development in children, as you know, isn't equal.
Very, yeah.
Is not equal. I mean, we've got,
And it's really to protect your child most of the time.
well, of course it is.
Right,
Yeah, that's
right.
yeah. Trust me, administrators have more than enough to do.
Right.
They don't need to be spending a lot of time contacting you about dress code
Right,
issues.
right.
And that's why we're putting this out there now. And they don't want to call you. I promise you, we don't want to talk to you about that. We know that's a sensitive subject, and we know that or hopefully we know to try to be as diplomatic as we can when we deal with the young ladies and their dress code and body image and all of the issues that go along with that through social media. So hopefully your administration is being sensitive to that. But Mom, Dad, you could really help us out a lot if you can kind of police that before the kid ever gets out of the house. You know, try to imagine what it was like when you were a kid. You know, what was that? How was that going to look when you got to school? I understand it's cute, and when you have a little 6th grade girl that's barely 4 feet tall, and you know she still looks like a 3rd or 4th grade girl, that's one thing. But if next door neighbor, if that biology has zoomed ahead and is trying to wear the same thing, that's going to create a problem.
Right.
And again, we just if you'll handle that for us, it'll save you a lot of headaches down the road. Label those clothes as soon as you get them. Get that magic marker, get that permanent, that Sharpie,
But
and write in there.
first, get that list.
Get that dress code and probably save you some money too.
Right.
Okay. Prepare for a fight because you got one coming with your kids.
Oh.
Appreciate your support. Thanks for watching it. Please like, share, talk to your friends about this, talk to your administrators about this, and have fun out
We'll
there
see
shopping.
you next time.
Enjoy paying those credit card bills.
Bye.
See ya.
Ooh.